Welcome back, and tonight I'm going to make sweet corn. My neighbor gave us sweet corn from a local farmer, and let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is take off all of this. I'm going to move the camera back just a hair so you can see, and this is kind of fun to do. I'm just going to show you a couple. And I always like to have a bag handy. You can do this outside if you wanted to. Okay, this looks pretty good. And then we have this big long stem part, which is the end here. And so we want to just pop that right off and then get as many of these strings off as you can. And this looks really, really nice. Look at this. I don't even see any worms or anything. All right, so then we're going to take it over to the sink. There's my pot right there. And I'm going to rinse off the remainder. And then I'm going to put it in a very large pot. And I'm going to continue to do the other pieces of corn, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I had a feeling I'd come across one of these, and I just want to show everybody what to do if you have this. So what I do personally is I just cut that part right off. Sharp knife, cutting board, and just cut it off. And then you have a perfect ear of corn. I'm going to rinse this off. Let's do another one for the camera. It doesn't take very long. Then just pop the end off. Put that in the bag. And then we're going to get as much of the stringy husk off of there. And then we're just going to inspect it. And that has a little bit of a bad end. So I'm going to cut that off. And then everything looks perfect. We'll get the rest of the strings off and rinse this off. Okay, so now we have our corn here in our big pot, and we're going to add some cold water, and we're going to make sure that it just goes over the top. And this corn looks like it is yellow and white, and this is sweet corn, and I can smell it, and it smells already wonderful. I hope everybody's having a good day. Hopefully there's a farm near you that you can get some fresh sweet corn, and if not, hopefully the grocery store has some. Okay, so now I have the stovetop burner on high, and I'm going to wait till this corn boils, and as soon as it boils, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so I'm waiting for this to boil. I am occasionally just kind of pushing some of the corn down so it gets warm. Some of it wants to float to the top. Have just a few more minutes. Okay, so we're at a rolling boil. We're going to turn off the heat on the range top. We're going to cover it. Okay, so we've turned off the heat on the range top. We've covered it, and we're just going to let it set for 5 minutes. So I used to cook corn probably 15-20 minutes in a rolling boil, and I didn't realize it, but I was really boiling the flavor out of the corn. So when I was very young, when I was first married, my husband's grandmother, who was a wonderful cook, and you'll see some of her recipes on my channel, she told me this trick on how to make wonderful tasting sweet corn. And as I said, I always thought that you had to boil it for a very long time. But you don't need to, and then our next step will be something I came up with on how to butter the corn. So we'll wait the 5 minutes and we'll see you soon. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes. I'm going to uncover this. And now I'm going to take a tongs, and I'm going to take the corn and put it in this casserole dish. This is what I happen to have handy. You can use a bowl, whatever you need to do. a lot of the water out of the corn. That's why I'm shaking it. Now I'm going to dump this water in the sink. Okay, so I put the pot back on the burner, and I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. And then I'm going to take a generous amount of butter, and I'm going to start melting the butter right back in the pan. We're going to let this melt a little bit. Take the tongs, stir it around. And this is salted butter. Okay, so now the butter's melted. I'm going to turn off the heat. And then I'm going to put 2 pieces of corn back in here. I'm going to saturate the corn with the butter. Just kind of turning this. You wouldn't do this at home. I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing here. I'm just rolling it back and forth. And as this one's really good, so I'm going to put that back in the baking dish. And then I'm going to do a couple more. And like I said, you can put it in a bowl, whatever you have available. This just seems to fit the corn really well. Okay. This is a very quick and easy way, and it works out really nice because it really gets everywhere. Sometimes you're serving corn and then all of a sudden then you have butter on the table and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get the butter all through the corn? And I have found that this is the best bet, and it tastes just delicious. All right, I'll meet you at the counter for the taste test. All right, now time for the taste test. That is so good. So buttery, and the corn is so sweet and delicious. I hope you try this at home. I hope you can get some fresh corn. Maybe you'll be lucky enough that you could actually grow your own corn. We used to do that years ago. Let me taste another piece. What's good about the method that I used is if you overboil your corn, it will become mushy. And I don't know if you can hear it at home, but this is nice and you can a little bit of crunch to it. Quite delicious. I can't wait to sit down and finish this. Sometimes it's hard to have just one. Also, I want to show you, if you have little kids or light eaters, let me show you what you can do. Now, you might want to wear gloves. I'm just going to do it without gloves. You can just literally put, once it cools down a little, you can just literally break it in half, and now you have smaller pieces. Or if you'd like to serve it that way, that's fine too. A little bit of butter on the hands there. All right. Corn is fun to eat. It brings you back to your childhood, that's for sure. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who subscribe, I really appreciate it. And if you don't subscribe, it is free, and I hope you do. Please like this video and share it with a friend. Have a great evening. Thanks for watching.